What up, what up? It's your homeboy Maal The Pimp, aka MTP, and this is Education 101. Give you some free game and some free knowledge, you know what I'm saying? And the topic for today is how to actually review a contract properly. How to review a contract properly. And this is from the perspective of if you are an artist looking to sign with a company or a record label, the things that you should look for in a contract as an artist looking to sign with somebody else. Now keep in mind before I get started, I always remember this. When you're negotiating, you don't get what you ask for. You get what you negotiate. Remember that. You don't get what you ask for. You get what you negotiate. So as an artist signing the contract, you can come in asking for anything, but you only get what you negotiate. You have to go through the contract and pick out and go through and weed shit out and add shit in and all that. And at the end of the negotiation, if you see something that you're comfortable with signing, then you move forward. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna give y'all a few pointers based on some things I know and things that could possibly help people out there, whether it's a major artist or unsigned independent artist. You follow me? So all right, now back in the day, labels were signing artists. Now we talking back in the CD days. You know what I'm saying? When CDs were still selling across the counter, you had artists that were going platinum and multi-platinum based off of over-the-counter CD sales. For the most part, labels were signing artists then to a 3 album deal. You never signed for X amount of years. You signed for X amount of albums. And back then, you was signing pretty much for a 3 album deal. And after the third album was released, they had an option to exercise if they wanted to do a fourth album or a greatest hits album on you, for the most part. You follow what I'm saying? Now, back then, when they were doing these 3 album deals, you were selling CDs across the counter. Downloading was somewhat there, but it wasn't there. It was still about hard copy CD sales. So it was easier to go platinum then because there wasn't no bootleg and there wasn't no internet that was tearing into the sales. You follow what I'm saying? So labels could recoup off of album sales, strictly off of album sales. They could recoup the radio budget, the video budget, the marketing promo budget off of album sales. Then came the digital streaming and the downloads. That right there stopped the album sales, and that's why we're in the days we're in now are no CDs. It's strictly streaming. So now with it being strictly streaming, labels are taking a percentage of your streaming because they can no longer recoup from album sales anymore. So now they're taking percentage of your streaming, and a lot of labels are signing people to like single deals. They give you an X amount of dollars for a single, see how that performs. And if it performs a little better, you might get a budget for an album will be released digitally. You follow what I'm saying? So now the most contracts you're signing are going to be basically based on digital. So as an artist signing a contract, understanding that what you want to try to do is keep a percentage of your digital sales. Now some labels offer you money up front, and then you realize you sign off all your digital rights away. So when you're doing streaming and album downloads for like $5.99 and $9.99 for an album, either 99 cents for the single, that's going to the label. If you don't know any better, because you took the upfront bag. You follow what I'm saying? So what you want to look for in the contract is first see what the percentage of your digital sales are. Make sure that they are not getting all of it. You follow what I'm saying? And they're going to get some of it because from a labor perspective, they don't know how else they're going to recoup their money. And digital right now is the main income, so they're going to get a percentage of your digital. It's up on you to negotiate because you only get what you negotiate. It's on you to negotiate how much they get, how much you get, and come up with the split that you feel is most fair for you. You follow what I'm saying? Now also, most labels now, not most, pretty much all labels are offering new artists because it's a difference between new artists and artists that already have leverage and already have weight in the game. New artists, they pretty much offer you 360 deals right out the gate. 360 mean they getting a percentage of every piece of income that you have. Your show money, your merchandise money, you feel me? If you do outside features or outside collaboration, they get a piece of that. If you do other business ventures like acting or commercials, they get a piece of that. They getting a piece of all your money across the board because they feel like they have to recoup their money based on the budget that they gave you. You feel me? And then on top of that, they're getting your streaming. So if you're an artist out the gate like an internet sensation, or either somebody who just broke into the game with a hot new song, you're going to walk into a label without a lot of negotiating power. And these are the things that they're going to put on the table to take from you. So you only get what you negotiate. My advice in a situation like that with a 360 deal, because that's pretty much standard these days, a 360 deal, try to negotiate, if you can, to get 100% of at least two things. Because they're going to take all of this shit across the board. Merchandise, booking money, versus feature and collaboration money, outside ventures. You follow what I'm saying? They're going to take streaming money. They're going to take all that. Try to negotiate to at least keep your show money. You follow me? Your show money and your merchandising money. It's going to be hard to do, but those are the things that I would suggest to throw out there because artists make a living off of shows. You feel me? And when you get to the shows, you want to sell your merchandise. That's what you want to sell. So if you can at least see, can you negotiate to keep that, and then let them take, your collaboration money, your outside business ventures money, your a percentage of your streaming. If you can walk in and walk out with a situation like that, they'll be considered most fair because most labels don't give that type of shit. You follow what I'm saying? So these are stipulations to look for in the contract. Try to get at least 100% of something. The thing I would ask for will be 100% of my show money because this is me doing the shows, not you. And 100% of my merchandising because they buying this because of me. Not guaranteed to get it, but try to negotiate that. That's where the back and forth comes in at. Another thing, when it comes to contract, which is real important, and a lot of new artists don't understand this in the beginning, it's real important to own your masters. Very important to own your masters. Again, if you're a new artist coming in the game, most likely that's not going to be an option for you right there. Own the masters. You got to sign a deal, and then years down the line, once you realize what's really going on, attempt to buy your masters back. I just saw an interview with Young Jeezy on Drink Champs about a week or two ago. He said he's just now getting to the point where he actually received his masters back. I saw on the internet that the group De La Soul, and they was out when I was a kid. They just acquired their masters back. Some years ago, once Death Row Records shut down, I remember Snoop, Dazz, and Corrupt buying their masters back from Death Row once the catalog went up for sale. You follow what I'm saying? As far as I can remember, it might be other people that I'm forgetting, but Birdman and Slim, Cash Money, Masterpin, No Limit, they negotiated a deal up front so where they will own their own masters. Cash Money owns the masters and not Universal. No Limit owned the masters and not Priority, but they came into the negotiation table already with leverage because they was making money already, so they was able to pinpoint and call shots like that. You follow what I'm saying? But the average artist won't have that. And I think Jay Prince from Rap A Lot owns masters. Masters are very, very important. The reason Michael Jackson was so rich was because he owned the masters or the catalog of the Beatles. That's why Michael Jackson had so much money on top of the money that he was already known for having. He owned the Beatles catalog, owned the Beatles masters. Lil Wayne just recently sold his masters for $100 million. You follow what I'm saying? So that lets you know how important masters are. That's the most important thing you can own or acquire in this rap game. But again, coming into a situation as a fresh new artist, you're not going to have the bargaining power to ask for that right there. You follow what I'm saying? And if you ask for it, it's probably something that they're not going to negotiate. But as you build leverage over time and you build your income, and you become more successful and get to the point where you consider yourself a multimillionaire, that's something that you ought to look to definitely buy back because you can eat off that for a lifetime. Masters are real important to own. And even me, I was able to do a lucrative business deal because I own my masters and my publishing. I never signed them off. I did a business deal with one of my songs was licensed in a movie that was released on Lionsgate Film, a movie called Spring Breakers. My song was used for the actual DVD hard copy when it was released to the stores. And I was able to negotiate that deal and get compensated a nice amount because I own my masters. So they had to come to me to negotiate that and not a middleman because I own my masters. So, and this me talking as an underground artist. You follow what I'm saying? So imagine if you break through the door as that major artist, what your masters would be worth. So look for that in the contract. And again, as a new artist coming in, you probably won't be able to make that type of call. But down the line, once you realize what's going on, whatever money you make, please go back and buy your masters if you're able to do that. You feel me? The next thing you're going to look for in the contract is the ownership of your name. A lot of labels will have it in the contract, and you'll never know it, that they own your name. This can be a name that you had for 10 or 15 years. The minute you sign a contract with a record label, legally they can own your name unless you negotiate that out of the contract. So once say you do a 3-album deal, right? I'm going to use myself for example. Maal The Pimp signs with a record label. I do a 3-album deal. My 3-album deal is up. I want to move forward and sign with another label. But mixed in that contract that I didn't see was that the label I did the 3 album deal with owns my name. So now when I move forward to do another deal, I can't go by Maal The Pimp. So you might see me now all of a sudden going by MTP. Now it looks cool to the public, Maal The Pimp, MTP. They're just an abbreviation. But legally, I had to do that because this label owns my name. Another example of that would be, I was just using myself as an example, but an example of that would be Prince. I forgot what label Prince was signed to, but when Prince got out of his contract and wanted to move forward, the label owned the name Prince. So that's why you start seeing him go as the name Symbol, or the artist formerly known as Prince, because the label owned his name. You follow what I'm saying? So definitely look for small stuff like that in the contract. Make sure that you can leave with ownership of your name, because it's real important. You work so hard to get that name, and then the name is plastered on a major platform, and then when you leave, you can't even use your own name. You follow what I'm saying? So it's real important to look for. Another thing that you want to look for in the contract is publishing. Publishing is very, very important. Publishing and masters run hand in hand. That's very important. The person who owns, no matter who you see singing the song or rapping the song or performing the song, the person that owns the publishing for it is who's getting paid for it. You have 3 publishing companies, what we call PROs, ASCAP, CSAC, and BMI. You want to register your music under one of those 3 PROs right there. Publishers, the people who owns the publishing is who's getting paid for the music. No matter who you see singing on the video or on the radio, the person who writes the song, or at least is put on paper as writing the song as a publisher, that's who's getting paid. So you never want to sign your publishing away. Coming into a record label, it's going to be in the contract for them to take your publishing. Each time a label hands you a contract, it's going to go in their favor. There's nothing against you, that's just how it goes. The contract is always going to go in the label's favor. It's on you to read through the contract, negotiate. No, take that out, add that in. You can't take 100% of that. How about you keep 60 and I keep 40? How about you keep 45 and I keep 55? You have to negotiate all these things. And it's going to be in a label's contract to own your publishing. And it's going to be in a simple word that you'll never catch. It's going to be a works made for hire. That's the term. Works made for hire or works for hire. That right there signs your publishing completely away. Right there. Without you knowing it. You have to go in and negotiate that type of stuff out of your contract. You follow what I'm saying? If you're smart enough to ask for your publishing up front, the label is not going to give you all your publishing. It's just not going to happen. You follow what I'm saying? It's not going to happen. At least try to negotiate a percentage of it. A percentage of it. Starting out. And then try to go back and buy all of it back once you have more leverage. You follow what I'm saying? Because publishing can get you paid. Like, for instance, when you see these big movies that come out, and you hear a song that's a soundtrack to the movie, or the song that's a theme song used for the movie, whoever owns the publishing for that is getting the money for it. You follow what I'm saying? Prime example, I think when Bad Boys 2 came out, this theme song for the movie was Shake Your Tail Feather. Whoever owns the publishing for that, which I would assume would be Diddy and Nelly or whoever that was on the song, but whoever owns the publishing for that is who's getting paid. And that was a real big song. New Jack City came out. Ice-T had the song New Jack Hustler. When Boys in the Hood came out, MC8, Compton's Most Wanted, had the song Growing Up in the Hood. When Menace to Society came out, MC8 had Straight Up Menace. Movies and songs like that. When Juice came out, Rakim had the song Know the Ledge. You follow me? Songs like that, major scores for the movie. Whoever owns the publishing for the song is who's going to get paid for years down the line. You follow what I'm saying? So always look and see where your publishing stands when it comes to negotiating contracts. You follow what I'm saying? So, again, as a new artist coming in, look for the number of albums that you're going to sign for. Well, now they're going to sign you to digital and streaming deals, so see the percentage of streams that you're going to get versus what the label's going to get. If you're offered a 360 deal, which most artists are out of the gate, try to negotiate at least 100% of one of the things that are going to take all your money from. You follow what I'm saying? Always stay up to date and look into owning your masters. If you don't own them already, definitely try to go back and buy them back once you get leverage and you're able to do that. Look for ownership of your name. Make sure that they're not going to take your name. So once you're free to go, your name doesn't have to stay. Look for that. And always make sure that you're the owner of your own publishing. Never sign it off if you can avoid that. If you have to give up some of your publishing, give up a percentage of it and not the whole thing, because you're going to regret it down the line. This is MTP signing off. And again, remember this: business always overweighs talent. www.maalthepimp.com, Instagram @Maal The Pimp, Twitter @Maal The Pimp, YouTube Pimpaholic TV. Salute.